These beautiful green tomatoes were grown in the garden but didn't have time to ripen on the plant. So what better way to use them than to make salsa? The peppers, garlic, and onions pictured here were all grown in the garden also. Delicious and spicy. They were put into a large pot after chopping to cook down or sweat. To sweat these veggies means to cook out some of the water or evaporate the water. Here you can see a large bunch of chopped cilantro that will be added to the salsa after it's done cooking. Now that the onions, garlic, and peppers have sweat and been cooked down, I've added the roasted, peeled green tomatoes to the pot. As the tomatoes are cooking and becoming soft, I'm adding ground cumin, dried oregano, and salt for some added flavor. Check that out here. All right, you can see here we've got the green tomatoes, the peppers, and the onions. And the garlic. They're all simmering. That's an onion there. And the pepper right there. And the garlic. And then we added a little bit of, you can see the onions there. We added a little bit of about a tablespoon of cumin seed and a tablespoon of Mexican oregano in there. So that's all simmering away with a little bit of salt. Then we have our cilantro, and that will go into the pot as soon as it's done cooking, because we don't want to really cook the cilantro too much. And then boiling next to this, or almost boiling next to this, is the pot where the cans are gonna go. So you can see this is a very big pot. That's a normal stock pot. Here's a big stock pot. So we're gonna boil the jars for canning because we want the jars to be hot so that when we add the hot liquid to them, they will not break. All right, so now we're using what's called an immersion blender to blend up the salsa, because if you remember, some of the tomatoes were still whole. We want it to be kind of chunky. Oh, I can feel some tomatoes in there. All right. All right, we added cilantro in. I'm just gonna give it a stir. And then we're gonna taste it. All right, so we're gonna fill these jars until they're about 1/4 of an inch from the top. These jars are hot, very hot. You have to be really careful not to touch them. We have this really cool funnel. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna seal them.